Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's coverage of the inaugural season of the Piggles Cards744 Mud Run, featuring racing action in the dirt street stock on iRacing. This series will feature up to 5 heat races, followed by a B main into the feature event of up to 27 drivers. So get ready for some fun. Maconi Entertainment is here to bring you the action from all types of racing, including the weekly Fast Friday series. No matter what you are racing, we can bring the action to life. Good evening, everyone. My name is Dylan Conley. Joining me in the booth is Alexander Balderas with Ryan Bauer. Turn the dials back in the studio and using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Alex, welcome to the booth. Kokomo is a tough and tight track, with a flat low line and steeply banked outside line by the wall. Making passes means you got to get a little creative. What can we expect to see tonight, Alex?
Well, it's a very, very short track, just 0.25 miles, one of the shortest on the schedule. It's more of like an egg-shaped track, sort of similar to Darlington. Looks like a very small version of Michigan. Track length, 1/4 of a mile, located in Kokomo, Indiana. Track was opened in 1947 with no major changes since then. 0 to 10 degrees of banking in the turns, 4 degrees on the straightaways, and a seating capacity of over 5,900 spectators.
I sure hope all 5,900 of them will enjoy a good show this evening, as we're about to head to qualify. We're going to head to the heat. They do not qualify. It's a random pill draw, and we'll find out the order of that pill draw. There will only be one heat. There are only 8 competitors here this evening. So this heat will set the lineup for tonight's event, as Caleb Durgan, we do not see him here tonight. He is the points leader. So it means tonight we will more than likely have a new points leader. For those of you new to the dirt track scene, the street stock is where most drivers get their start in full-sized race cars. They may continue their careers in these cars or try their hand at late models or wing sprints. Either way, the street stock is where they could cut their teeth in the dirt and make their start in dirt racing. Again, big thing tonight, this is the dirt street stock. They're going to use open setups. So that's a big thing. All these drivers will tune their cars to their driving style. There will be one 6-lap heat and then a 50-lap feature. They'll have one faster pair, one green-white checkered. The caution laps do not count. The starts are on the green flag, the initial start, that is. And any and all restarts are after the pace car leaves the track. The leader can go whenever he wants, and drivers must maintain lane position until after the start-finish line. So we're getting ready to go here in the one and only heat tonight. Your starting lineup tonight: on the pole, Jason Gunnels. To his outside, Joseph Vries. James Frank in the 3rd position. Daryl Jordan in 4th. Casey Sawich in 5th. Carson Cherry in 6th position. And the last row, Cody Heathcock and the 25 of John Walker. Again, this was a random draw. So we're ready to get things going here in Kokomo. Any final thoughts, Alex?
Well, it being such a short track, the field spread shouldn't hopefully be that large, so we should see tight battles all across the racetrack. Cool air temp 75 degrees, track temp 67. Going to be a cold and somewhat grippy track compared to dirt standards, so hopefully what we see here tonight is a good carry-on for what we saw here last week. Great race last week, came down to about 0.2 of difference at the finish. So even after all of that, we saw some craziness in the heats before. I think we're going to see some crazy racing here now.
Last week was a really clean race. They had the one caution, but other than that, we had a lot of comers and goers through the field. It was kind of a older style stock car race where, it looked like at some point 3 or 4 different guys were going to win.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought it was great.
So we're getting ready to go here. The pace truck by iRacing leading the field around, as Jason Gunnels' field is in his hands as the pace truck pulls off. So he must wait till the green flag is displayed. Displaying that green flag, Barney the Flagman. He's everywhere, it seems like. He's getting a lot of work in every week, as we are green and we are racing from Kokomo, Indiana. So one thing...
Oh, sorry.
No, you're all good. Continue.
Well, great start already ahead, as we can see the drivers picking different lines to use. That bottom really seems to be coming in right now, but I'm sure in a few laps we'll see that top start to rip. And on the bottom, it's interesting because it's almost banked negatively, and we've already got a spin.
A lot of contact in the back. I believe that is Cody Heathcock, who's missing his front end now, and there will be no cautions in this heat event. So they'll just have to keep going. This is to set the grid for the main race. as DeVries is in the wall. Gunnels has just been, he's been kind of driving like a diamond as we have a spin for 5th place. I believe that was John Walker that has spun out. We do stay green, however, as the leaders are going to be close to passing him, as they will as he will head down pit road. On board with Joseph DeVries as he's in pursuit of the 444 of Jason Gunnels, who just set the fastest lap of the race. That last time by, as we're approaching 3 laps to go here in this event. Gunnels, Vries, and Jordan, your top 3. Then Sawich and Cherry round out your top 5. Again, only 8 cars made it tonight. Looks like John Walker is going to start in the last position for the main race. This is only the heat. After this, they will have a, I don't believe, no, they're not going to run the consolation event. They'll have about a 5-minute warm-up, and we'll get things going here as there are 2 laps to go here from Kokomo, as Jason Gunnels has about a 1-second lead over Joseph DeVries, as the white flag this time by, and laps tick quickly here. Jason Gunnels will lead him down the back stretch. DeVries still trying to work that high line, as it keeps looking like Jason, it just never seems like he doesn't quit turning, as he'll come off of turn number 4, and he will take the heat win here this evening before the main event. That's a pretty good race. There were a couple incidents in the back, but it seemed pretty racy all throughout, but Jason Gunnels had the best way.
Yeah, and you're right. And just taking a peek here, I think it looks like 3 will go to the feature and the rest go to the consolation. We'll keep you posted on that, but as of right now, that's how it stands. Here's the full results from the first heat race. Jason Gunnels is going to be on pole for the feature. That is Joseph DeVries, Casey Sawich, Dale Jordan, Carson Cherry, Cody Heathcock, James Frank, and John Walker.
Well, that is your 8 finishers of the race. That'll also be your starting position. If we can see him, let's see if we can get a word with our heat race winner, Jason Gunnels. If we're able to. He's not too busy tuning his car. Meanwhile, in the meantime, here he is. Here's our heat race winner. This is Jason Gunnels. Jason, this is Decon up in the Maconi Entertainment booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, congratulations on that heat win. You made it look pretty easy once you got out and clear to the lead. I mean, you just pulled away.
Yeah. Setup was on dick. Nice.
So this is a really, it's a small track. It's a really strange track. Do you think that, I saw you running the bottom, but I saw guys throughout the field running up against the wall on the top, and I even saw 1 or 2 running the middle. Do you think that the bottom is going to be the money line?
Not really. Once it gets slick, it'll go to the top.
That's about what I thought. Well, you got any sponsors you want to thank?
Yeah, I like to thank, hold on, let me mute them. I like to thank Cool Racing, the Majula City Speed Shop, Casey's Speedworks, and 5-6 Graphics.
Jason, I appreciate you. Good job on the heat win, and good luck in the feature.
Thank you.
That was Jason Gunnels, as we were able to get a word with him, as we're about a couple minutes away from the feature event this evening. As again, the drivers getting some, they took a lot of notes over that heat race, and they were seeing what they needed to change to make things better for the feature. But before the feature event, we're going to take a short little break. We'll have some messages. We got to get the bills paid around here. Again, this is Dirt Street Stock Racing on Maconi Entertainment, the Piggles and Cards744 Mud Run. We will have the feature event for you here in just a moment.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
We now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Kokomo, Indiana, the site of tonight's event here on Maconi Entertainment. Speaking of Maconi Setup Shop and Maconi Entertainment, visit their website, MaconiSetupShop.com, the home for setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, event promotion, and more on the iRacing service. By subscriptions as low as $8 a month, they are the official setup shop of eNASCAR and the official series sponsor of the NASCAR C-Fix Series. Again, we're here for the Piggles Cards744 Mud Run from Kokomo, alongside my partner, Alexander Balderas. Alex, any final thoughts before we get to the feature?
Well, laps are quick here, so definitely no room for error. These guys are going to have a tight racetrack to go on here tonight. Just a quarter of a mile, what you usually see with cars going in a straight line. But now it's a oval-shaped dirt track here in Indiana. Tonight, we're going to see a lot of close quarters racing and hopefully, piggybacking off last week, another close finish after a long green flag run.
All right, well, we're going to get things going here as they've completed warm-up as the 8 drivers in the field. We'll grid up here as we're ready to get things going. Here is tonight's starting grid. Again, this is the finishing results from the one and only heat. Jason Gunnell's on the pole. Joseph Rees at second on the outside of the front row. In the second row, Casey Sawich and race admin Casey Sawich. Daryl Jordan in fourth position. Carson Cherry, fifth place. Starting in sixth, Cody Heathcock. And your final row of the evening, James Frank and John Walker. We'll round out things here as all drivers are gridded except for our pole sitter. As we're ready to get things going. Again, this is a 50-lap event. Either 50 laps or 1 hour and 51 minutes, and I surely hope it doesn't take that long. Drivers will have one fast repair, there'll be one green-white checkered attempt, and the caution laps do not count. They are using open setups as well. And Alex, one big thing that they have that I forgot to realize until it was way late, they do not have the rear view mirror on.
Yeah, we figured that out late last race, during last week. This is going to be a crucial detail because, as we heard in the interview, one of the leaders couldn't see that the guy behind him was running the top. So then when he had to go up there at the last minute, that's what possibly saved him from getting past. So not having a rearview mirror means your senses have to be heightened to another degree here. And these guys have to be on another level just to make sure they can go out and compete for the win.
Now, that was one big thing that was mentioned last week by our race winner, Caleb Durgan, is he couldn't tell what was going on, so he just had to kind of guess. So the pace truck presented by iRacing is off. The field's in the hands of Jason Gunnels as he has to wait for the initial green flag presented by Barney the Flagman. He's ready to go, and he's waving it, and we're under green here at Kokomo.
It's already a fantastic start, just like we saw it in the heat race. A lot closer together, though. Now they're about to go 3 wide, 2 wide down there downstairs for the lead between Gunnels and Sawich. This is going to be a tight race, almost 3. So as I was saying earlier, these drivers using those different lines means that those 2 different lines are going to be run in. And with the amount of cars running them differently, this means that those lines are going to have different amounts of grip. And with all this moving around, Casey Sawich has taken the lead. So already past the heat race winner, now going on to go out and lead. But we still got tight racing here in the back, almost 3 wide just for
Big
second
slider
place.
in front as Heathcock puts 2 cars on the wall. Gunnels and DeVries on the wall. We stay green. Nobody spun out. That was a big slide job there as now we have a wreck and we have a caution on the racetrack as, oh my goodness, they're piling in. James Frank's piled in. He's missing his front end on the Casper, the friendly ghost machine. Oh my goodness me, it's a big one here at Kokomo.
And even though we only have 8 cars, these guys are going to put on quite the show for us.
That's
even
half
though
the
small
field.
That is literally half the field. Half the field ended up in the first yellow out here on lap 4. And, well, you can already see what a small track is going to bring short track tempers.
So it looked like Cody Heathcock tried to throw a slider that just didn't work out and knocked 2 cars in the wall, and it was on from there. So we're under the yellow flag here at Kokomo, here on Maconi Entertainment. Again, we're glad you're here with us this evening. And there are plenty of sponsors to make this place go around. Cards744. Visit them at ebay.com/str/cards744.com. They're your place to be for all memorabilia cards in the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, and many other sports. Use coupon code #Piggles20 for 20% off your next order. So the lights are out on the pace truck as he heads down pit road. Field's in the hands of Casey Sawich. He's already going. And we're under green here at Kokomo once again.
Casey Sawich there trying to go early and get another green flag run like we saw there last week. Again, almost 3 wide as we go into turn 3. Casey Sawich will come off of turn 4 to lead the first lap after the restart. We are 3 wide going into turn 1, and we have some contact down there into 2.
So they're 3 wide heading into 3 and 4, I believe. A couple drivers just elected just to fix the damage because under caution, you can't lose a lap. So they had plenty of time to get some damage fixed instead of using their quick repair. I do see over in the back of the field that James Frank elected not to. He's missing his whole front clip. So that's hindering the performance of that vehicle as you're on board with Carson Cherry. As they head down into the next corner, field kind of spread out. Casey Sawich already out to a 1.5 second lead here in this one. Behind him, side by side, Cody Heathcock and John Walker. They make contact. That's ruffling some feathers. They're going at it in the voice chat as John Walker now moves out to second. Jason Gunnels moves into second, side by side, as he's going to clear him going into 3 and 4. As I tell you what, Casey Sawich set the fastest lap of the race, but he's got a big dogfight behind him.
Well, if these guys eventually get it sorted out, they might have a chance to go and catch our race leader. Casey Sawich, our race winner last week, goes on to look for another dominating performance out front tonight. Jason Gunnels and Cody Heathcock go side by side for second place, trying to get it done here to go into that second position, as we've already gotten 11 out of 50 laps here in Kokomo. Right now, Gunnels a little bit loose, and he's going to be able to move into third position. Our heat race winner now moves down to third, with a lot of fighting still behind him. These guys have been fighting all night long, going in front of each other, throwing slide jobs. Some of them didn't work, and some of them did, while we had the caution out earlier today. Riding on board with Carson Cherry, this is already about a 5-second gap almost to the leader. He's running that top lane, and he's been pretty quick running the top, just running up where all of that dirt has laid down. It's almost as if it's called the cushion, where you can place your right rear.
James Frank, the lap car, came down and hit the leader, Casey Sawich. Sorry to interrupt.
No! I can't believe it. We've got it almost the page.
So he's by him finally. I don't think Sawich has any damage. As I was about to mention that Frank, I believe he's going to bring it down to pit road as he's spun out in the infield now, and he's going to park it for the time being. He might use his quick repair, try to hop back out there. So we have a caution on the racetrack as 2 cars have got into it. Cody Heathcock and Jason Gunnels have spun out, and we're under the yellow flag for the second time tonight.
It was funny, you saw this just while we were riding on board, and Cody Heathcock and Jason Gunnels not having a good race so far. As there he goes through the infield, but boy, he just looks like he was sideways and no avoiding that. And then he tries to come back and cross, and just no bueno.
Yeah, there's no bueno here. Kenneth Bueno is not here, as we are under yellow here at Kokomo, as Casey Sawich waiting for the pace truck to go by, finally does. And we are under yellow here. Good place to get iRacing paint is Ayers iRacing Paint. Visit www.ayersiRacingpaints.com or facebook.com/Ayers iRacing Paints. Your place to go for paint schemes, hero cards, and logo design. Use the coupon code #Bacon20 for 20% off your first paint. And speaking of bacon, Big Bacon Gaming. Find them on Facebook.com. One place, find all your sizzling iRacing content as the pace truck is off. Casey Sawich will come to the green flag. They have to wait until he goes, as it looked like we almost had a jump of the restart by Carson Cherry. They'll have to see if that was considered a lane change, as they're wrecking in the back once again, and we are under caution for the third time tonight as Joseph DeVries is spun out and stopped at the exit of turn number 2.
Well, these guys clearly can't get a handle on themselves. They're so excited to run here tonight, they're wrecking each other. So even with 8 cars running, we've managed to have more cautions in the first race.
Now we're under caution here. We've only completed 16 of the 50 scheduled laps this evening. Again, the caution laps do not count, so the drivers will be able to get a lot of damage fixed if they have any, or come down and take their quick repair, as we are under the yellow flag once again, as James Frank has come back onto the racetrack with a fresh front end. He is 2 laps down, scored in 8th position. Shibby Wraps and Designs. You can find them at facebook.com/Shibby Designs. Shibby Designs is 3M certified wrap shop / they take care of all kinds of trailer, car, and other vehicle wraps and signs and motorsport graphics. Send them an email at shibbydesigns@aol.com. You can find them at 3056 SH 199 in Springtown, Texas. Give them a call, 1-763-227-0505. So we're under yellow as Casey Sawich, they have elected to go to single file restarts as we're back racing here at Kokomo to try to limit the carnage on the last 2 restarts. So Sawich goes back out to the lead. Again, there's just a whole humanity of cars behind him as he will head down and cross the line. We have completed 17 of the 50 scheduled laps here in Kokomo, as trying to make that high side work as Carson Cherry, and good freaking grief, we are under the caution again. Joseph DeVries is in the wall, and he has spun out, and we are under the caution for the 4th time this evening.
Man, I feel like he's been roughed around the entire time he's been out on track. Just has not been able to catch a break.
He's having a rough night.
Definitely most is having a rough night. Been, I think, in 3 out of the 4 cautions we've had tonight.
Well, Joseph DeVries, another caution tonight as he got tagged after the yellow had been out, as we're under caution once again. Boomtown Furniture, they sponsor the car trailer. You could find them on facebook.com/Boomtown Furniture. Visit them at 3209 East Highway 199 in Springtown, Texas. Give a call, 817-221-2300 for all your furniture needs. As the field is still in the hands of Casey Sawich as we're under the 4th caution this evening.
You know what, while we're under caution, let's take a look at the point standings. Caleb Durgan and Cody Heathcock, very similar in points, just -2. Caleb Durgan is not here, so with Cody Heathcock, if he comes out with the win, it's going to be plentiful in the points for him.
So we will have a new points leader tonight, more than likely, as the green flag is back out. We're racing once again. And single file restarts try to limit the carnage, as we had 2 cars in the wall in the back. They keep it straight. It was the battle for 4th position. I believe that was John Walker along with Cody Heathcock that were in the wall. Sawich the only one in the top 5 that's running that bottom. Now looks like Heathcock goes to the bottom, but the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th position cars, Carson Cherry, Jason Gunnels, and John Walker, are all wanting to run the top and run up on the cushion, as it's like Carson Cherry doing a little bit of wall riding, trying to keep pace with the leader, Casey Sawich.
Well, these drivers are, go around and find their different ways to get around the racetrack. And right now, Carson Cherry is finding his way, trying to make sure that he can use that top lane. Is really coming into play here. He is, unfortunately, though, looks like it's getting gapped by Casey Sawich, but he's trying to make that top lane work like everyone else, and Jason Gunnels now finds himself in 3rd as well.
We are approaching halfway here. It'll be 24 laps complete this time by, so it'll be halftime the next time by. So your running order as it goes: Casey Sawich, your leader; Carson Cherry in 2nd; Jason Gunnels in 3rd as he slaps the wall; John Walker in 4th; Cody Heathcock is fighting side by side with Joseph DeVries, who's been He's been roughed up tonight. Back in the 7th position is James Frank. As we take a look at him, there's a big accident as he spins in front of one car, loses the front end. Daryl Jordan gets the front end ripped off, and we're under caution for the 5th time tonight.
This is most definitely unexpected. Oh, and he overcorrects, and that's... Ooh. That is quite a hardy lick. You know, they're not going very fast, but these things like to bobble around a lot.
So we're back under the yellow flag here on Maconi Entertainment. And glad you're here with us tonight alongside my broadcast partner, Alexander Balderas. Glad to have you guys here this evening. As Casey Sawich, still your leader.
Well,
so James Frank has left the event. He's gone through 2 cars this evening. As he has left the session, he will finish in the 8th position tonight. He will finish about 26 laps down. Meanwhile, we still have the top 7 still in the event, as we are 1 to green this time by, still single file on the restarts. We are at the halfway mark. The field's in the hands of Casey Sawich. Everybody running up against the wall. Green flag back in the air here at Kokomo.
Off to a great start again for our leader, Casey Sawich, still being the only person to run that bottom lane. I wonder why everyone else is funneling to the top, not only just because of the single file restarts, but every other driver is running the top but Casey. So clearly it means that he's figured out a way to run that bottom faster than everyone else. It looks like it's working too, because everyone else is tight packed together, and there he is at the bottom of your screen, just free roaming and going away from the field.
Well, he talked to Jason Gunnels before this race, and he said that, you know, the bottom line was dominant now, but he kind of thought that the top, as the track slicked up, would become the preferred line this evening. And, you know, so far, I mean, everyone wants to run that top, but it seems like the bottom line for Casey Sawich is kind of the money line right now. As he kind of looks like he's diamonding the racetrack, kind of driving in a, if you were to draw a diamond like on the racetrack over a picture of this place, that's about the line that he's running. Of course, now he moves to the top. As soon as I say that, and on board with the 2nd place position car of Carson Cherry, as he's in a dogfight with John Walker. Well, Carson's been knocking down that wall tonight. As now we have a new 3rd place runner. John Walker has moved past Cody Heathcock and Joseph DeVries. So now John Walker up 5 positions from where he started. He started in last place, wrecked out of the heat race, and now he's sitting in 3rd right now.
So actually a good recovery drive for him to go all the way up from last to 3rd. Still, the amount of cautions we've had tonight probably may have helped a little bit with that, but, you know, still good enough to drive all the way up to 3rd. Is definitely this run-of-the-mill race. Cody Heathcock trying to make up positions. He's going to slide his way to slide up into the top 5, and you could just see there how close these guys will really get to each other without wrecking each other. For the most part, even with an 8-car field, we somehow have a retiree.
Now, of course, was the James Frank machine. He was involved in multiple accidents. Jason Gunnels now currently sitting 7 laps down. I believe he had to use his quick repair. No, he's in the pits right now. So now there's 6 cars on the lead lap. You're on board with Joseph DeVries sitting in 5th position, trying to get past these 4 cars in front of him. The field's kind of tightened up a little bit as he's working on the bottom to get past Cody Heathcock, John Walker. Walker running the high side and Heathcock running the bottom. So again, it seems like all the lines are pretty close to even right now, but Casey Sawich right now in a league of his own with roughly, it fluctuates, but he's at about a 5/10 to 6/10 of a second lead. As you look here now, I tell you what, Carson Cherry's just running through the wall right here, just trying to keep pace, as I believe they would call that wall riding, but I want to be very selective as Cherry goes by flying on the outside up against the wall. Sawich going to slam the door on it, but he's going to leave him a spot open. Now we're side by side as we're going to be coming close to 10 laps to go. As we have a car spinning in the back. Could this bring out the caution? It will, as that is Cody Heathcock. So Cody Heathcock brought the caution out as Carson Cherry's reporting he's got some wheel damage.
Well, after you smack the wall so many times, I figured you'd have a little bit of wheel damage, but it seemed like it was working pretty well for him, and Cody Heathcock, not quite sure how that happened.
I think he was just done. So we got 12 laps to go here on Maconi Entertainment as Casey Sawich and Carson Cherry are having a discussion, saying that Carson is having to turn his wheel 90 degrees to just keep it on the racetrack, and there are a few people disputing that. It looks like all his wheels are perfectly fine. But what do we know? We're not driving the car, so Casey Sawich, your leader and the only member of race control, since we're close to 10 laps, I believe they're going to go back to double file restarts. At least for the moment, they were lining up that way. Well, the pace truck is off, presented by iRace. Still single file restarts. 5 cars remaining. Who's going to win? Casey Sawich will lead him to green. It's his race to control as we are green here in Kokomo with 11 laps to go.
It's so crazy to me that our leader is still running that bottom lane. No one else is really running down there, and for the most part, it was working earlier, but now I think he's right. Donald was saying how that top lane might come in at the end of the race, and even though Carson Cherry is taking that top lane, he's taking wall popping to a bit of an extreme, but it looks like it is working compared to it was just a few laps ago, and he'll have to use that to his extreme, just about 2/10 slower than Casey Sawich as he hikes it up the cushion. He's going to have a tough time trying to get that lead away from our longtime leader, Casey J. Sawich, as he looks to have passed him a little bit there for a little bit, and now he'll fall back in line with about 9 laps to go. John M. Walker and Joseph DeVries also line up behind him. All the laps are really even.
So Sawich still your leader as Cherry, he keeps knocking some paint off the wall. This is about a 3/10 of a second lead there at the start finish line as we are at 7 laps to go, coming to 6 this time. Alex, what are you seeing here as Cherry gets in the back of Casey Sawich. He loses a lot of ground. Now Casey Sawich slammed the door on him, and we stay green with 5 laps to go.
Well, that's just unfortunate. A long-time second place has now moved down to last. Second to last, sorry. But now Joseph DeVries in third might catch an easy break here, but he's going to have to push very hard if he wants to get those final couple of spots. Longtime leader Casey Sawich has been running that bottom lane almost all race, save for a couple of laps where he ran the top. Now it looks like he's kind of running the middle, not much of the bottom as we saw where he'd hike it up almost on the negative banking. Right now, as you see there, he's on a part of the track that faces the opposite way. So now he's using all the track to his advantage, but John M. Walker and Joseph DeVries doing everything they can to try and take that lead away, and right now looks like they might just have to battle you out for second place.
3 laps to go that time by. The lead is down to about 5/10 of a second over the John Walker machine, as we're going to see 2 to go this time by. Walker and DeVries running the top. Casey Sawich playing defense in the middle. They're there. They're both there. This is a 3-car race for the win right here, as it looks like Walker spins out. He spins out and he goes down the pit lane. Now Joseph DeVries, who's been in 3 accidents tonight, is running in second place, as this is the white flag presented by iRace. Casey Sawich, your winner. Joseph DeVries running up against the top. Cherry in third place, and John Walker, the last car running on the racetrack, in fourth. As coming through 3 and 4, it's going to be Casey J. Sawich, your winner tonight here in Kokomo.
I had no idea 8 race cars on a track could be as exciting as this. Oh my God. Maybe a long-time leader and a long-time dominant performance, but Casey J. Sawich, after coming home third last week, definitely earned this victory here tonight in Kokomo.
So great job by Casey Sawich. Had to fight off 3 or 4 different drivers at any point of this race, as we're going to take a look at the final finishing results. So your winner tonight is Casey J. Sawich here from Kokomo, Indiana. Joseph DeVries finishing second. Carson Cherry, who was run all over in this race, along with DeVries, finishes in P3. John Walker from the Mid-South, your last car on the lead lap, at 4th position. Daryl Jordan in 5th position. He got a top 5 and finished 7 laps down. Cody Heathcock finished 12 laps down at 6th. Jason Gunnels at 7th, 24 laps down. And our final finisher tonight, James Frank, finishes 28 laps down. We're going to take a short little break here on Maconi Entertainment. We'll talk to our top three here. This is the Piggles Cards744 Mud Run here on Maconi Entertainment. We'll be back in a moment.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
We now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we're back here in Kokomo for the Piggles Cards744 Mud Run. We're going to talk to our top three. We have our winner tonight, Casey J. Sawich. Casey, congratulations tonight. I mean, you had it once you took the lead. You started in third. Once you took the lead, I mean, it was just set sail from there.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, again, we threw the old Maconi wrenches at it there late, right after warm-up, and we went big, and it hooked. It hooked at the bottom. I was worried that we were going to eat up that right rear just looking at the time, but man, it felt good tonight, y'all.
Made it look good out there. You had to put up with a couple of battles behind you. You had 2 or 3 different guys that were making a run at you, but you remained cool, calm, and collected up there in the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, at least it seemed that way. We almost baking it there at the end. Cody was coming, and then I got to call Joe out here, Sneaky Joe. All of a sudden, looking at the relative, all of a sudden saw him in second, and within a second grass. And all it takes is one mistake. And I'll tell you one thing, we were getting a little too close to those inside tires. I didn't want to pull a Gunnels out there and be the tire man tonight.
Yeah, you definitely didn't want to do that. So one thing that it was mentioned in our notes is that you guys don't use a rear view mirror at all. I mean, is that any kind of challenge when you're leading like this?
Absolutely. Yeah. So really having to focus on the ears and look over really quick at the relative, this is a small track and it's very oddly shaped. A lot of the drivers here communicating on Discord, not a lot familiar with it. It's not the easiest and you got to really trust each other. So I know there's a few cautions here because it's when you're going in a corner here, especially turn 3, you got to enter in so wide to carry momentum. And if you're going in there 3 wide, you just can't see anybody.
You seem like you know what you're talking about. You only led like 46 laps tonight. Well, Casey, before we let you go, you got any sponsors you want to thank or anyone else?
Absolutely. Well, all of you guys here up in the booth, Maconi Entertainment, appreciate y'all. Of course, Maconi Setup Shop LLC. Wrenches worked amazing tonight. Card744. Check them out. Ayers iRacing Paints. Boomtown Furniture. Shibby Wrap and Designs. HRH Motorsports Course. Big Bacon Gaming. Artistic Texas Mamas. Jordan Racing. RDL Tire. In-N-Out Cuts. And all the Baconators and all you race fans.
Well, Casey, congratulations tonight. We appreciate the time.
I appreciate you guys. Have a good night.
That was our winner tonight, Casey J. Sawich, and I believe Alexander Balderas standing alongside our second and third place finishers tonight.
Well, Carson, you got third here tonight. Pretty good running there from you. how do you think tonight's race went as a whole?
As a whole, I could sum it up in 2 words. That's a learning experience.
Well, definitely not wrong. Seeing for most of the time you were emulating Ross Chastain in the Xfinity 500 from last year, but you found a way to make it work, and I'm just saying it's going to look like good old wall popping out there on track, not necessarily doing anything other than that. But for you, pretty good finishing place in 3rd. Other than that, definitely this was one of the races of all time. How do you think the rest of the season might play out?
Well, I know the next couple of tracks I really struggle at. But I know me and my team, we're gonna get to work hard and hopefully have another shot. You know, and it's just about if I'm determined to do it. And right now, I let one slip through my grasp, and I'm chasing it again.
Well, you're certainly not wrong. Quite a few cautions here tonight, but honestly, it looked like when the racing was great, you guys were side by side, sitting at 3, almost 4 wide at times. Maybe if had this race been a little longer, what do you think would have come out of it?
I think it definitely a couple more cautions that really would have helped us out. But I think some more really good racing might have came out of it. I think we would have had a 4 wide battle for the lead at one point because we were all right there. We're all really fast. I got big respect for Casey.
Yeah, it was also funny to me how he was the only person running the bottom. Everybody else was running the top. Do you think you can partly explain that, or?
Well, in the heat race, everybody ran the bottom. And then I guess everybody kind of thought that the bottom had cleared off and it had slicked off, and it kind of did. Coming out of 4, if you were too heavy on the gas, you'd kick out sideways. And after that happened to me like twice, I just decided to F it, moved up, and I caught Casey. So I guess everybody saw that and moved up. I was just carrying so much momentum.
Yeah, it was interesting, though, that everyone followed you, yet Casey stood true and tried to what worked. So good race for yourself. Finished 3rd. Anyone else you'd like to thank here tonight?
Cody and Jason, you know, they're my 2 teammates. Quill Racing, gotta thank them for taking a chance on me, like always. You know, my mom and dad, Cobra Racing Chassis, really, you know, the boys race team, and my boy Sebastian. He's the one that built my setup tonight, so I'm really thankful for him.
Well, congratulations on your 3rd place, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, sir.
That was your 3rd place finisher, Carson Cherry. And as we'll now hopefully see if we can get our 2nd place finisher, but I don't think we can. Dylan, I'll hand it off to you.
I appreciate that, Alex. We're able to talk to our top 2 finishers tonight. Again, our race winner tonight, Casey J. Sawich. Congratulations to him, as we will check out the updated point standings here next week. Join us again next week here on the Piggles Cards744 Mud Run here on Maconi Entertainment. I want to thank you to all of our sponsors tonight, as well as our broadcast partner, Maconi Setup Shop. On the action tonight was myself, Decon Dylan Conley, alongside my partner, Alexander Balderas. In the booth with Ryan Bauer, turn of the dials, back in the studio, using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Thank you to all our viewers watching tonight's racing action, and we hope you will stay tuned to all of our social media pages for our next race. Thank you to the entire staff for their work in bringing this racing to you. This has been a production of Maconi Entertainment, and we will see you next time.